commemorate 80 times 2, a chance to be together to toast Doris and Ruth. In honor of your birthday, we collaborated on this tradition of a ditty, each of us writing about a favorite memory to share as we spend time together in T.O. City.
Sharing one favorite memory from my mother is tough, and that's because there are more than enough. My favorites, though, are our shared travels afar. From Rome to Scotland, these times shine like a star. Long days of sightseeing and having great meals, the excitement of new places while wearing down our shoe heels. Favorite memories of my auntie also include a trip, although this one was not by air or by ship, but by bus to Niagara on a holiday call. You took me to see the grandeur of it all. A fun day of seeing all that water pour down, and the good times after in your hometown.
Oh, very nice.
My favorite memories are from the long kibbutz summers we spent the 70s and 80s with extended family and our mothers. It sounds overly fancy to rhyme off the towns where we'd meet, from Sion to Southampton, Cape Cod, and Wellfleet. But often it was simply Jones Beach.
Summers in Wellfleet when we were oh so carefree, and in Canada racing around the lake in a motorboat in our jammies. Barbecues every night followed by pans of brownies we baked. How I wish those summers we could replicate. At 80 I admire my mother and aunt's cheery disposition, which always makes better any situation. And while we may not have a whole summer together, it's always great to spend time with each other. Nothing could stop it, not colds or the weather.
Christmas dinners on Overlook Terrace with books at each seat, rouladen and pot roast, those were the days that we all ate meat. Zafner and Pishinger tort and Schwarzwälder cake. Some of my favorite memories are all the yummy things that we ate. I loved all our visits to NYC, but how come you let Andy and I sneak off to KFC? I loved when you came up to visit us in Hamilton too, but then dinners were stroganoff, paprikash, and goulash stew. It was the greatest when we were all together just like today for summers or holidays or a special birthday. When we were all together, the four of us were a bit wild and crazy. We ate brownies all day and then for some reason felt lazy. You two were happy just to be together all day and chatter, while the four of us lay around laughing and getting fatter.
I remember when you brought me little teddies, and all those times we went to the Getty. You would buy us Lego kits literally every holiday, since that was what we all wanted for gifts. Now, I bet you wouldn't have imagined this all these years later. Now, I drive you to and fro museums, parks, and bakers.
We traveled 4,000 miles to reach this frozen shore, had a massive flight delay, and some ice on the family doors. We had to pack 10,000 things and get up at 6 a.m., but to be able to sit next to you, I'd gladly do it again. Now, one of you we haven't seen in 100 years or so, and even though I'm quite jealous because you got to be identical, still I'll put my pride aside and say this only once. Have a happy birthday, both of you. We'll see you again in 12 months.
Happy birthday, Grandma and Aunt. I know all this is what you want. Grandma, I know I haven't had a lot of time since on the baseball team. Oh, by the way, thank you for the soda stream. Aunt Ruth, I'm glad to be here in Canada, grinning from ear to ear.
Nanny, we love the poems for us from you, so we wrote you your own. It's the least we can do. It was just 10 years ago that we were in LA. Now we're all back together to celebrate your birthday. From New York, Toronto, LA, or wherever, we are all so happy to be celebrating this day together.
Auntie Doris, we have such fond memories being in New York with you, counting stairs, visiting museums, and going to the zoo. From Overlook Terrace to Dillview Court, when talking to you, topics are never short. Nanny, getting a message from you always makes our day better, whether it's an email, postcard, or even a letter.
On the Sunday crosswords, you can never be stumped, because you have the best words, just like President Trump. We love hearing your stories and learning family history, but when looking at old pictures, who's who is a mystery. Now, just like Lincoln said, you've made it 4 score, so happy, happy birthday. Here's to many more.
You've never missed one of our birthdays, so here we are today to celebrate in our poetic way.
On the
road to the 18th and not the 28th, when we can all be together, is the best time to celebrate. So we have wanted from coast to coast to be all together to share a birthday toast. Happy 80th to you both.
Oh, wow.
Yay!
I'll tell you the number one thing about all of this marvelous poetry is that Trump was only mentioned once. Thank you. It's really great. Thank you.
And we have a
and
little-
we share the same memories. We share all the same memories.
Lord, those two little
We
boxes,
haven't
can
we
you
haven't
give
done
one?
Senal yet. We share all the memories.
One to each.
There you go, one to each.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Heavy.
You'll see. It's not. It's just like a little something. It's actually more for the kids.
It's not diamonds.
It's more for the kids. It must be
Yeah.
chocolate.
No, it's not. No more chocolate. Well.